French Navy are on the move. Manoeuvres in the bay. Maybe they're coming to check us out. They're getting closer. This guy's got blue guns on them. Maybe false ones.
Arriving here in Port Noumea. I hope they have an open day or something like that on it, because on social media, on the New Caledonia social media, there's a lot of interest in it, so it would be great for people to have a look around, or at least go on the top of it or something.
We had a look. After we arrived in New Caledonia, I went round and checked everything, but one thing I didn't check was underneath these plastic covers on the shrouds, and this is what I found. So there's, out of 19 wires, 7 broken ones, so it's very serious. So we were quite lucky, maybe that the rig didn't come down. It's put a lot of strain on that other shroud, because the wind was on this side all the time, so this was taking all the stress of the rigging.
Well, it was probably lucky that we were conservative with our reefing.
Yeah, well,
that's probably what saved us, really.
That's right. And we've been in touch with the rigger here, George. He's got a very good name, and he's going to come along and put a temporary spectrum here while he gets another wire, and he has to. And what he has to do then, he has to take this away with him and swage it. Okay, so we've had this cap shroud replaced by George, the rigger in Noumea here. He's done a good job. We found another shroud the same size, and there you are. That's replaced. It's the same size. All he had to do was to get the swage done by somebody else. And yeah, he had a good rap, and very pleased with the work he's done. We got him to do another couple of jobs as well. I'll just show you those as well. This code 0 setup on the Prada was a bit of a concern when we were coming over. It used to sway backwards and forwards a lot, so we needed to limit the movement in the furler. So what we've done, started at the base of the Prada, we've wrapped a line around there and secured it on that end, and then it's gone to a loop in the Dyneema, and the Dyneema goes up, it's got lashed again with another eye up there, where the thicker rope, which you can see, goes into like a triangle, where it goes up underneath the furler, down through the block, and back again to a brake on the foredeck where we can control it. We can pull it up nice and tight on the halyard at the top of the mast, and also down here, and it's a lot better than it was. There's not so much movement, it more or less stays still. Before, even with a slight bit of rocking, it used to go backwards and forwards. It wasn't good. So yeah, happy with that. So when we looked at this this wire on the Seagull Striker, you press down, pretty sure there's a couple of wires that have come loose there as well. So it's not obvious, but inside we think there's another two broken there, so we're going to get this replaced as well. So it's the same thing, it's whether we can get the turnbuckle, and we have to get it re-swaged, and it's better to do it here because you've got all the services in Noumea. We're going to Port Vila next, maybe they'll have it there. Then the Solomons, I don't think there's much chance of getting anything there, and the wire they most likely wouldn't have in the next places, we'd have to get it sent in. So we've got those done. Okay, one of the things about rigging catamarans, it's a little bit different from a monohull where you've got a narrower beam. With the catamaran you've got a much wider beam, and you're supporting two hulls as well. So you've got these two cap shrouds at the top, and they need to be a little bit loose. It's not good having them really tight because they need to flex a little bit. So I believe the problem we had with this cap shroud was the rigging on both sides was too tight. When we eventually let this go altogether, the mast actually moved back. So this was too tight, and it was pulling the mast over this way. It was that much. And when you look at the base of the mast, you could tell it was a little bit of a gap there, and it shouldn't be. It's quite important that you get a rigger, or you know yourself about tuning the rig properly on these catamarans. I didn't know. I've had two monohulls before. This is my first catamaran, and this is the first catamaran I've really sailed on. So it's a learning process. So it's important that it's right. And you've only got these two stays on a catamaran. You haven't got any back stay. So you know, yeah, it's very important. So the problem was that this Ronston fitting here wasn't available here in Noumea, so it's a different thread, so we've had to get this other one, which we're going to use. First of all, we mark the thread where the turnbuckle goes on the stay, on the side stay. We loosen it off. So we're loosening this right off. So we think this is the original Seagull Striker stay, and when it was pulled out, the split pin and that fitting on there, the aluminium, there was glue in between. Instead of there should be Lanocote or Duralac compound in between for dissimilar metals, but there wasn't. There was just glue in there. So there you can see the corrosion inside, where they haven't used a jointing compound between the dissimilar metals, and that's the corrosion that's been caused. Stainless steel onto aluminium without the proper compound. So that's the new Seagull Striker stay, which is going on, replacing the other one. So that's the new Seagull Striker wiring now, both sides. We've just tightened that up. So what you do is you tighten this one up first before you do the shroud on the side, and then that pulls the cross beam up level. So you always do that first, and then the shroud afterwards. If you do the shroud first, it'll pull the beam up too much. So So that's the old wire. We'll keep that. We'll keep that as a spare with the broken wires. I woke up this morning and I've got this massive catamaran anchored next to me. Look at this. It's a Sunreef 75-foot catamaran. They're built in Gdansk in Poland. I don't know how that's. It's called Wild Berry. Looks like we're getting some visitors. The P&O liners coming in. They'll be all around Noumea shopping, spending money. I'll probably put the prices up while they're here. Pacific Dawn. Oh look, they're all lined up at the top there.